around the world, we've seen a lot of anecdotal evidence of heart disease increasing in young people after who've suffered COVID, brain strokes in some people who've had COVID, menstrual cycles in some women going awry after they've suffered COVID. And in some cases, there are these small scientific studies, not with huge samples, but with small samples, which seem to suggest that this is indeed the case. What's our understanding of the impact of COVID over the long term?
That's a very good question. So I would say two things. First is we know that COVID can cause vascular damage, can damage the lining of the blood vessels. The reason that's important is because we know that if you get damage to your blood vessels, that can trigger a heart attack, can trigger a stroke. So clinically and physiologically, it makes sense that some people will have an increased risk of heart disease or stroke or other conditions. The issue here is, as you said, the data here are just beginning to come in. They're mostly small studies. The problem of small studies is you can get spurious findings. You can get, because you've got a small sample size, you may just through luck see an association that doesn't pan out in bigger studies. I'm not suggesting that's what's happening here. What I'm suggesting is we have to be cautious. We have to be thoughtful. I do believe that in the upcoming months, we are going to see bigger studies, and they will either confirm that, in fact, indeed is causing these things, or it will dispel it. I obviously don't know what it will do, but it is, of course, concerning, and we got to pursue that line of work to really better understand. Is COVID setting people up for higher rates of heart disease and strokes and other important complications?
What is the one thing that you feel really good about when you think about our response to COVID? And what is the one thing that worries you the most about what could happen with the virus in the future?
Yeah, boy. So the thing that gives me the most assurance is the remarkable capacity and capability of the scientific community, the global scientific community, our ability to respond to this virus. So if we have a real change in the virus, our ability to build new vaccines, to build more therapeutics. Science has really, really delivered in this pandemic. And that scientific community remains very strong, very robust, very vibrant. And it gives me assurance that if Mother Nature throws a curveball at us, we will be able to respond. What worries me? What worries me is that we do live in this information landscape where there is a lot of misinformation about things. And ultimately, science is only as good in terms of making people's lives better as you can engage people, get them to take vaccines, get them to take treatments, that and help them understand why it's valuable to them. That is a set of challenges that I would say we as a global community have not solved. How do you communicate effectively? How do you cut through that misinformation? That continues to be our biggest hindrance. It is the thing that slows us down the most as a global community. And it worries me about our ability to continue really fighting that misinformation.